Spurs TV, where we are going to look at the aftermath of the match against Leicester. We played at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and my God, what a match! Spurs scored 6 goals in a match. I don't know last time we scored 6 goals in a match, and an amazing hat trick from Son. He made what you might call an amazing statement for being dropped on the bench. Now, we'll come back to that in a minute. I've got 4 beautiful, amazing guests with us tonight, and we'll meet them in a minute. And yes, hopefully we'll. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us on Sports TV. Here we go.
So your volume is going in and out.
Oh yeah. Okay. This is the beauty of live TV, isn't it?
Yeah, that's better.
Right. Okay. Here we go. Right. I don't know where to start today's proceedings. Before we go on, let's say welcome to Common Use Sports TV. If you're joining us for the first time, this is Common Use Sports TV, where we discuss everything Spurs. Tonight, Spurs, what? Leicester. That's a 3-0. No, who had that graphic on? Right.
That's what I said.
I know, right? No, it's not.
It should be Sun. It should be Sun 3, Leicester 0.
Yeah, it's more like Spurs 6, Leicester 2. Right. So that's more an accurate picture, right? So, pardon that little error. Before we go on tonight, let's just introduce the guests we have on. I'm so excited. I don't even know where to start, so I'm just going to calm down, and take it one step at a time. We've got a new guest with us tonight. We'll come to him in a minute. We've got our usual. Chuma is here. Chuma, welcome. How are you?
Oh well. What can I say? I've witnessed legendary master at work in 30 minutes.
That's like, where do you even start? I mean, we'll come to that in a few minutes, but let's just sort of, we'll come back and look at that in a few. Olabi, how are you?
Good evening, everybody.
Welcome. Nice to have you here tonight. Thank you for all your support, for being here all the time, and just being a constant feature on our programs. I mean, I know Olabi, you're just a superstar. Thank you so much for coming in. How are you?
It's a pleasure. Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here. Pleasure to see you. And I'm great. After a great victory, I'm great.
Now, we got a new guest tonight. Now, Tolu hasn't been here before. Tolu, do you want to introduce yourself? How are you? Oh, now when we ask Tolu to know, he disappears. Can you believe that? How typical, right? Anyway, that's the joy of technology for you. Let's just go back to this match. Now, okay, so we're part of this Nigerian Spurs forum. On the forum, I'm reading all sorts of stuff about how bad we are, how negative we are, how horrible we are, and how difficult it is to work with this Spurs team, and we're just so bad. Now, I'm not gonna go into the details of the match at the moment, but let me just sort of say this, right? Overall, Tolu, are you back? Can you hear us? Tolu, can you hear us? Tolu, are you there? I'm not sure if Tolu can hear us. Tolu, can you hear us? Hi, Tolu. How are you?
I can.
Beautiful.
Hi,
beautiful.
I can hear you.
Right. Perfect. Amazing to have you on. I know you haven't been on this before, but thank you so much. We call Tolu.
Good evening, guys.
Right?
Good evening,
as
everyone.
a skipper, right? So yes, thank you for coming on board. Thank you for joining us. It's a great pleasure having you, and it's even more amazing the fact that you come on a day when a lot has happened. Okay, we'll go and look at the details in a few minutes. How are you, Tolu? How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm fine.
Good.
Fine. It was a very strange game.
Go on. You're saying how strange your game was. Yes, tell me. Tell us more.
There were moments in the game we should have just taken control, but we didn't do that. It was quite funny. Some people think we didn't play well. We actually did, but we were very sloppy. I don't know how to describe it. The midfield was different. It was maybe exasperating, in fact. We just allowed them to play and dominate. It was funny.
I mean, we'll come back to that in a minute. Now, let's just sort of look at the big picture, right? We came into the match out on the back of a defeat against Sporting Lisbon, right? Okay, so we had what I call plenty of like on account of the outcome. And in the course of our program this morning, when we were talking about the preview for this match, Chuma and I just had a look at, hang on, I'm not completely sure we played that badly in that match. Okay, granted, we didn't take our chances and we didn't score, but overall, if you are being very, very honest and being, if we had taken our chances, the outcome might have been different. Some people might say, oh, should have, could have, or maybe could have, but the matter is that, and I've said this before, football at this level is about very, very fine margins, right? And if you don't take your chances and deal with those fine margins, it may come back to hurt you. Now, today, we've almost like come across full circle, if you like. First half, it didn't quite seem like okay, so game opened up with what? Sanchez. Now, I have to say I'm not a great fan of Sanchez because for me, he has this difficulty with dealing with balls that come from the air. And he just sort of almost like loses all sense of composure and concentration when he's encountering a ball that comes in from high. And then, okay, first time he does that, second time he didn't have to go in. And then why would you give away such a penalty? So that sort of set the tone for the start of the match. Now, let's come back a little bit. Folabi, you saw that opening.
Somebody's got something in the background.
I don't know. It's not me, but I mean, who's that? Is that YouTuber or is it Folabi? Is that Tolu? Anyway.
No, at all.
Anyway, so wait, what I was saying was that Folabi, do you want to take us through the opening few seconds of the match? I mean, I thought that was an exciting 10 minutes, if you like,
You want me to really go back to that part?
Please, it's important. It's important.
That nightmare.
I know, right?
Oh, I've even forgotten about that nightmare. You want to ruin my night, right? Don't forget. Anyway, I've not had dinner yet. Grasshopper. You want to talk about grasshopper?
Well.
When I saw the team sheet, okay, I deliberately today did not put anything up and say, "Oh God, grasshoppers starting." But I just don't understand the way the guy plays. Elementary mistakes after elementary mistakes after elementary mistakes, game after game after game. And yet he never seems to learn and cut them out. That is the most frustrating thing. Nobody says you should not make a mistake in 90 minutes. Possible. But yet it's the same mistake, same elementary mistakes, and he never seems to cut them out. You know, head the ball out. Even in boarding school, the first thing we were ever taught was, if in doubt, hoof the ball out. Heck, even if you have to give out a corner, give away corner. If you have to give away a throwing, give away throwing. Don't give away a penalty when you have the options to do those things, which he clearly had. But yet he still will not,
it's one of
thinking
those
he's over smart.
really frustrating moments in the match. I mean, match opens up. I mean, within 7 minutes, we concede a goal. Okay.
I mean, I don't get it.
So we had.
Can't you throw that ball? Can't you keep it tight for the first 10 minutes? Keep it tight.
Yeah.
You know,
So
keep
we had
it
this
tight.
little really funny situation whereby, okay, they have a penalty kick, and Lloris guesses right the first time, right? Granted, Vieira said he moved off the line, which, okay, from my perspective, I guess maybe I'm biased. I mean, I thought it was okay, but hey, what do I know? He guessed right, and I don't know if you listen what commentary you're listening to. The commentary I was listening to was saying that all of Telemann's penalties always went to the left, you know, and he guessed right. I mean, he must have done his homework, and he guessed right. And then that the second one, the same thing happened. Unfortunately, Lloris was unable to claw that back. But I mean, for me, in the first place, that penalty should not have happened in the first place because, from my perspective, I thought Sanchez could have dealt with that a lot better than he did. And he didn't. We lose the first goal. But within a few minutes, Kane was on hand again. I mean, Kane has this amazing record against Leicester. Chuma, I can hear you chuckling. Tell me.
No, I knew he was going to score. I knew he was going to score today. Leicester is his wife. Leicester is the guaranteed girlfriend. Leicester is the lady at the end of the night club. Pardon my language. But that's it.
Okay, moving on very quickly. Tolu. So we move to the other end, and we have now.
I think Sanchez is too cheap.
Yeah, go on.
Even the move that got to the penalty, he started it. There was a simple ball that came in, and it was supposed to just head it, just a header, and it just came wildly with the kick, and it was a miskick, and that was it. And it put us in trouble. Then he was in trouble. Then the team was in trouble. Then the penalty. It was simple, as Folabi said now, elementary mistakes after elementary mistakes after elementary mistakes. It's simple.
No, it's it's easier.
That's why, I look at Dyer. Yeah, I look at Dyer today. To me, Dyer is practically our most assured player. Someone you can depend on. He does the simple things.
Yeah. He's consistent. Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean,
it's consistent.
Very deserving of his place in the squad. I mean, we'll come to that in a minute.
Yeah.
If you have a look at and see that, okay, fine, we considered the goal. We didn't capitulate. We went straight across, and then within a couple of minutes, we equalized. And that equalizer. Let me just go through this very quickly. I don't know what commentary you were listening to, but the commentary I was listening to was focusing on our set pieces, right? And the bottom line was that, look, it looks like we've gone through this phase when, excuse me, when we have almost like our set pieces have become really the key to us scoring goals. This season alone, we scored 7 goals by headers. I mean, that is unprecedented in our record. And today, it just showed very much the variety, if you like, of the pieces of how we deal with set pieces. First you had the Kane goal, And for me, I think it was like the quality of the movement. From the kick coming in, Kane moving out, and I can't remember the flat French. Is it Castagne? Right, Castagne. He just sort of lost the guy and headed the ball in. That was absolutely fantastic, and he made it look so simple. He made it look so simple. Now, Chuma, what did you think of that move?
Oh, it's you know, everyone was screaming about this guy Conte got, the Italian guy who does the set pieces, his coach.
Exactly.
The guy reputed to have over a thousand set piece variations, and I said that's madness. Nobody has that. But my goodness, Spurs are dangerous in set pieces throughout since the season started, since preseason. We have been very dangerous, and the movements are different. You don't know who's coming where. We played short. We could play it over the heads. Every time we had a set piece opportunity, you felt like we were going to score today. And Leicester are also, from scouting, Leicester are very easy to score against set piece wise. Yeah, they're quite weak.
They've conceded 25 goals from set pieces this season as a record in the Premier League. And that's
so
for me. I mean,
we took
if we don't
advantage
take
of
advantage
it,
of that, I mean, come on, you know. Yeah, like you were saying, I mean, about our set pieces coach. I mean, he seems to be doing a good
he's
job.
earning his bread.
Yeah, he's definitely earning his
Yeah,
definitely earning his
the
corn.
money we're paying is working.
Absolutely. Now, okay, we go ahead, and how do we go ahead? Talk us through that, Toru. Toru.
No, I know. I think we're doing
Talk us
good
through
with set
how we
pieces
talk us
because we
through
were
how
very
in the end
hard.
we ended up with the second goal, going ahead 2-1.
I knew it was going to happen. Leicester is not very good. They have lost a lot of players left. I think they have the keeper is not very good. The defense is not very good. They are all over the place right now. So I knew you were going to score. You know, it didn't surprise me that they scored immediately. So I'm happy about the set pieces because those are the little things. Even if you're not playing well, you can just get a goal from the set pieces. Like in terms, what team did you play? Marseille.
Yeah, so we had a goal from Dyer.
Richarlison scoring. Exactly.
We had a goal from Dyer. Dyer, I mean, latching on to a set piece, an amazing set piece again this time around. I love the variation we have in set pieces. First, we had the shot corner with Kulusevski, right, and he whipped in the cross for Kane. I mean, I just thought to myself, wow, what a cross! What a he just moved it in the right place, and Kane was there with the right movement and headed in. That was absolutely fantastic. The second goal was again set piece. What? This time we had Dyer. For me, that was absolutely fantastic on many levels. A, because we had this situation whereby he's just been called up to the England squad, right? And I mean, come on. I mean, what else did you ask for? You had I mean, he's had how many years off? 2 years off now, and he comes in and he's amazing flick header. That was amazing. Ben, welcome back. Welcome joining us. How are you?
I'm fine. Hi guys. What a match.
We just been you're like how many minutes late already? So don't worry, we'll join us for the first time. This is Former U Sports TV. We're talking everything Spurs. This is the aftermath. Special guests. We've got special guests tonight. We've got Chuma. He's just from London. We've got Toru. Toru is from Lagos, and then we have Falabi is in Abuja, and Ben is stateside. So yeah, we've got quite a bit the full complement tonight, if you like. So thank you all for joining us. And we'll be looking at Spurs for 6 goals, 6. When was the last time Spurs scored 6 goals? Ben, do you remember?
I don't know. It's I think it's not enough. Some people were still moaning at the end of it. To be fair.
I know, right? It's not.
Ben, you need to listen to the preview show I did with Soji.
Say that again.
And I said to Soji, remember what I said about John Wooden earlier on this morning?
Oh, sorry, I missed that. I didn't quite catch that. Can you repeat
Remember what
that?
I said about John? I said, you remember what I said about John Wooden when UCLA won 11 basketball championship.
Maybe you want to remind our guests. 1 second, let me just find you here.
Yeah. So Ben, John Wooden, the trophy for the NCAA basketball, University Basketball Championships in America is the John Wooden Trophy. It's named after John Wooden, who was the legendary coach of UCLA. And he won 11 straight championships consecutively. And it got to the point where they knew they would win every season. But then what happened was the fans and the alumni were actually angry that he wouldn't win by a certain percentage or their style wasn't great enough. So I told Sergi this morning that even if we destroy a team 10-0, people will find something to complain about. So it's just
bingo. Yep, you're actually right. You read the tea leaves right, mate. You read the tea leaves. You know, Spurs fans are fickle. They're fickle. And now they're saying that they're bottom team.
Spurs fans are just particularly fickle.
Yeah. But they say, oh, it's a bottom team. Bottom team.
It's not fickle fans. It's not an exclusive thing with Spurs fans. Don't worry about it.
It's all fans. All of us do.
Yeah. You know? Suppose you're right.
It all boils down to how well you're doing on the day. You're doing really well. No one really cares. Just want you to do well. Ben, honestly, thank you for joining us tonight. Like I said, I know you're joining us from stateside. I mean, I know that what's the word? I mean, tell us. We're gonna go just look at Son in a little while.
Could you say it quick? I didn't quite hear what you said.
I said Son, right?
Yeah.
So he's come on, 59th minute. Nothing much happening. Okay, I think it was 2-2 at the time when it came on, right?
Yeah.
No, 3-2. 3-2.
I think it was 3-2, yes, because Ben
3-2
got that third goal, right? And he stole it off our man, Wilfred Ndidi, you know? I felt sorry for him because for him, come on, you Spurs, come on, you know?
Ndidi was smoking cigar.
I know, right? Anyway, yeah, so, I mean, Bentancur stole that off him and scored the third goal. I mean, Spurs came on, Son came on, and for the life of me, I didn't see 3 goals coming out from there. But I just had this feeling all of the while that we will win this game. What did you think, Ben?
Well, I've got to say that something positive came out of our forum, because someone actually said that, because we all saw the starting lineup and we knew that someone was on the bench, and someone, I don't know who it was, I'm going to have to scroll through it all to check who it was, but they said that they swore blind that someone was going to score. And I actually had to agree with that guy. I thought, I think he's got a point. I didn't know he was going to score 3, but I knew someone was going to score. And then when someone scored the first one, I thought, he might score a few more, because he looked hungry. He looked pissed off with being put on the bench, and he looked like he could score 3. And I was speechless. After he scored the third one, I was just absolutely speechless. But people are going to say, well, that was a good... some people in the forum are saying, well, the manager listened to our forum, which I find hard to believe. But, I find it hard to believe. But then again, there might be some people in our forum that actually have a channel to our Conte and actually fed him the comments from our forum. So there might be some truth in it. But, hey, that's why they're paying the big bucks. That's why they pay him 15 big ones. Because he makes the big calls, not like Boris Johnson, who claims he makes all the big calls and made them right. I think Conte called. He made all the big calls and he gets them absolutely right. So
talk through a little bit about that second. I mean, that goal. Falabi, can you talk us through it?
No, we've discussed it now. To my first of all, the specialist coach that we have.
Yes.
It's not 1,000. It's not 1,000 plays he has. They say it's up to 20,000.
My goodness.
Yeah, it's up to 20,000 movement he has. I mean,
The guy that's dedication.
Somebody should steal his book. Somebody should steal his book.
A stranger to scoring goals, headers. I think we scored more headers or more goals from set pieces this season than we have
in the last 5.
Exactly. So that says it all.
It's money.
You know, Dyer moves well in corners, actually. You know, and I was not surprised about this goal. I was very happy about it. And I think our movements we gave them a few troubles from, as the commentator even said, Leicester don't seem to be able to handle Spurs movements within their 6-yard box when we're having corners. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, you're very right. Very right. It was good movement. It was great movement. And it always seems to be like one guy who makes a dummy run, someone else who shields, and then someone who goes behind. It's been very interesting watching.
Exactly.
Different. It's almost like in basketball where they set screens. They set a lot of screens.
They screen. Exactly.
Yeah, it's been brilliant.
They're always good at doing that with Pat Riley.
Exactly. There's a lot of basketball stuff coming in that it sounds funny to some people, but it makes so much sense.
The screening and the shielding gives the other player room to go and move. Just the way Kane moved for the first goal. For the first goal, you know, it was shielded, but because they don't know, the opposition don't know who is going to be shielding and who's going to be doing the running, the pivoting.
Who's going to be running off? Yeah, the screen. Yeah.
You know, the pivot move and to just get, and it almost happened even in the second half when Dyer did it again, but unfortunately it was a bit more out. But he still got there first and still managed to, and the keeper still had to save it.
And I think their keeper was rattled really early as well. So mentally, I think he was gone.
Don't forget, we scored another goal from a corner, which was disallowed because they said it was a foul.
Which is disallowed. Yeah, so set pieces wise, I think we're really good.
Chuma, you and I just talking to ourselves. Where's everybody else?
No. Yeah, I'm on screen as well. I don't know.
I did hear.
Live and clear, you know.
I can't see so I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
I know, right? And we lost Tulu for a few seconds there. So welcome back, everyone. Right. So if you're joining us for the first time, this is.
Are we back to multi-screens or you're still keeping it on? You're keeping it on for the time being.
Live and direct.
I don't know. I don't know.
Is that real?
We're
Chuma, that's how they'll say that we're hogging the talk.
You know, that's why I like. That's why I like this. That's why I like this common use Spurs. It's so different. It's not stuffy and like those Tottenham TV and all them things, Hammy TV and everything. This is different.
Attack you on that forum. They will attack you on that forum.
Made that time now.
No, the second half. The second half for me was. It was even with the goal, it was still so chaotic in midfield because you know with Maddison's equalizer, he had all the time in the world, and you don't give that kind of space to Maddison. But it's because midfield wise, we were we're just outnumbered.
You know, we know the mark person.
I said it.
No man marking.
Even though we won 6-2, I can assure you Don Conte will not be happy with that performance. I can assure you of
Yes.
that. Because we did
Yes.
not, we lost shape so many times. If it was another team, we wouldn't be talking like this. It's because
When we
Leicester
had two
were
at the
even
top,
worse than us.
then two on the top,
We were
the
not
two on the top.
compact.
When he went two on the top,
We
we
were
were
not
much better, I think.
We were
Yeah,
not
no, exactly, no,
we
and
had
this is
control.
what I've been screaming about for I've been screaming about for weeks, that he should just go three in midfield, even if it means bringing Kulusevski into midfield. But now it seems people are pushing online. I just went on like most of the Spurs blogs online. They want to move Kulusevski to right wing back instead and play Bissouma, Bentancur, and because Bentancur and Højbjerg were free to roam and harass them once they had someone else there. It
Yeah.
was just beautiful that second half.
I think that's a
I
good point.
tend to agree. I would love to see Kuku come a bit back, play a bit deeper. You know, I would love to see Kuku kind of play as a playmaker. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. We've been screaming about Ericsson all this time, and he's an Ericsson-like player. It's just that
thank
he's wide
you.
and comes central. So it's a no-brainer. It's just how Conte is going to fix it. But honestly, in terms of that second half, and then Bentancur stealing that ball, I've wanted Bentancur to come forward for so long because I've watched him. I watched him when he was at Boca Juniors, and he used to be more attacking. All of a sudden, he's
And you
this
know,
guy now that just
I said this in our last pre-game after game show that Bentancur has that ability to drive the ball and come forward, and he did it today.
Yeah, he did
You
it
know,
with precision
Chelsea
today. It's like,
doing it more often.
absolutely, he literally passed the ball into the net with that third goal, and that was so
yeah, it wasn't a shot. Yeah,
No, he did. He passed it in. He passed it. He passed it.
I mean, okay, I looked at all of Son's goals, right? And every goal was a statement goal. Because, I mean, none of it, the first goal was it's an absolute worldie, you know? And I don't know if, like Falabi said, his celebrations said a lot. It was almost like, did you just bench me? You know? Did you just bench me? I mean, come on. Really, you know? And, I mean, the hat-trick goal was, oh, I had myself, I don't know, I said this earlier on. I was on the phone, and I looked at this goal, and I was screaming down the phone. It was like, what's happening? Look, Son just scored an absolute worldie, and the first and the last goal were just absolutely top notch. You know, Ben, you saw those goals, didn't you? Tell me, what did you think?
No, listen, I really can't say on air what I felt when those goals went in, but I was ecstatic. I was ecstatic when the balls went in.
I mean, okay, so at the beginning we said to ourselves, okay, is this taxi for Brendan or Dr. Spurs? I think it's a clear taxi.
it's a private jet for Brendan. He needs to fly out, not just drive out. The private jet.
Yeah, I think overall, I mean, okay, good result. We scored the goals. We were effective. We did the business, and we just essentially just stood on their throats, basically. You know, especially in the second half. I mean, I just thought we bossed the game totally. I mean, took our chances and scored. I mean, I don't think they even had any chance in the second half. Did you see any, Chuma?
But for them in the second half,
Yes,
they had. I'll call them like half chance. There was a good shot that Madison took that that Lloris saved and palmed down.
What's the word? Lloris had to keep out. I remember. Okay, that's true. Yeah.
But for I felt for Madison today. I really did, because he's a very good kid. He's a good player. It's just unfortunate right now he's in a sinking ship. And in my opinion, if I him, I'll be pushing to get to Leicester.
So if we did like some sort of what do I call, like a team review of how our guys did in comparison. I mean, I'm not going to do Leicester comparison here. Let's just look at our guys, right? we got Lloris in goal. Now, I mean, I thought he gave a really, really good performance today. Even though I mean, the penalty when it ended up going in, he did pull up a good save, at the outset, right? So it doesn't count in the grand scheme of things. Well, he just did make a couple of really, really good saves in the course of the match, and that was for me was match transforming because you don't want to go in at any point being behind or having to chase the game, and those saves kept us in the game and built a platform for us to sort of move on and try to what's the word again I'm looking for? Try to sort of make an impact on the game. Ben, what did you think?
Yeah, I think that talking about you're talking about the tail end of the match, are you?
Yeah, I was talking saying the key moment in the match where we had Lloris make key
Yeah.
saves.
Yeah, so we're talking about Lloris, and I think if I was giving out scores for players, I think that Lloris again showed the reason why he's a top keeper. I mean, he was making saves for fun, saves that other keepers I don't think could make. And yeah, you're right, he did keep us in the match, kept us well in the match with those saves he made. And I mean, a penalty, you can't put a penalty against him. And Maddison's goal came off his shin. You can't legislate for that. If he had come off his boot, I think Lloris would have got it, but he came off his shin and just made a weird angle and went in the net. So there's nothing he could do about that. So I think Lloris deserves a lot of praise. He was really good,
Yeah,
in my opinion.
It was always going to be a difficult game for anyone of us if you think about it, because I mean from a Spurs perspective, right? We needed to win that game to bounce back from the defeats at
Sporting.
And again, there are many moments in the match when people felt that maybe we weren't quite clicking the way we needed to click. Passes were going awry, they were getting intercepted, they weren't completed, and we just struggled to sort of have a consistent impact on the course of the match. And out of nowhere, Ndidi, thank God for Ndidi, got dispossessed by Bentancur, and he scored the goal. I felt that was a turning point in the match. What did you think, Falabi?
The second half, the Bentancur, I mean, he read the situation very well, and he pounced on it. He pounced on it, and as we said earlier, when he got the ball, and he just he placed it into the corner, went off the post and into the net. There was another, then they came back. That time we had about, from the beginning of the second half, or the first 10 minutes of the second half, I think we had about 80, possession-wise, we had about 80%, and they had about 20%. And then there was a chance that they had that Lloris made a pitiful save when Maddison just hoofed the ball into our goal, into our 6-yard box, and I forget the name of their player who just put his head there. It was definitely going in, and Lloris had to stretch to save it, and he managed to do so. And then they were. Then suddenly we sort of removed our foot from the pedal. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you. You're right.
Yeah, we sort of removed our foot from the pedal, and they came attacking, and we were under a bit of pressure, until Don Conte made the first sub when he brought on Royal, which was, and I don't know what to say. I was just praying at that point. Then he made shortly afterwards. Then don't forget, before the double substitution came on, before Sonny came on, we were under a bit of pressure from them. We weren't really able to get the ball.
I hear you, Falabi, and again, hindsight is a wonderful thing, and people sort of look back and say, okay, fine, if we won the match. But I was looking at the match and I thought to myself, okay, we're not really playing that well. Leicester really cutting us open, creating constant threats or just being difficult for us. I can't really say that they were that difficult for us. We just kind of managed things quite well. And with the benefit of hindsight, if you like, okay, maybe we could have played a bit better in areas or other areas of the field when things, were seemed to be kind of tight, and we started trying to get out. And for some reason, our passing and exchange wasn't quite working quite well. But you always had that feeling that we had the measure of them. We had the sort of almost like what Yoruba would say, oh, Amawala, that sort of thing, if you like, as in, oh, these guys, we've got it, we've got this sorted out, and eventually it proved to be the case, even though we had to rely on stellar performance from Heung-min Son. Now, I don't even know where to start on Son, but I'm just going to sort of do this little applause thing that I've got on this system. It's like, for me, he just epitomized that element of saying, look, no matter what challenges or difficulties you're going through, just hang in there. Your chance will come, your opportunities will arise, just take it. Now, if you're joining us for the first time, this is Come On You Spurs TV. Come On You Spurs TV is everything Spurs, everything Spurs. And we've got a bit of a Nigerian bent to it. However, we also ask that you subscribe to our channel, share this with your colleague, make a comment, like us, enable this channel to go viral, so that way we can provide you with content. We're here every week, focusing on how Spurs are doing, upcoming matches, and we've got, this live stream here tonight. We're looking at the aftermath of the match against Leicester, and we've got guests with us tonight. We've got Chuma. Chuma has been absolutely fantastic. Falabi has been amazing, and we have Ben as well. And for some reason, we can't seem to find Tolu, but I'm sure we'll find him when he can find his way back in. Yeah, so that's our panel for today, and we've been looking at Spurs versus Leicester. Now, is this really taxi for Brendan? What do you say, Chuma? What do you think?
Oh yeah, I think. Well, I think you can't go based on how the season has gone. You've seen managers go after getting properly tongued this season. As soon as they get beaten, they just get sacked. So it's been coming. They've lost 6 games on the spin, and they've conceded 22 goals in 7 matches, which means they concede 3 goals per game, which means they literally have to score 4 goals to be sure of a win.
Not Premier League form, eh?
Yeah, you can't explain that to anybody, and unfortunately for him, you can see that even if he says it's not his fault, the players, it's coming to an end. Whatever he has, I don't think the players are playing for him anymore. And regardless, they don't have a bad squad, but they're not playing for him anymore. I think they've down to, and it's the only thing I can see is him losing his job next week.
It can be difficult when you're going through a drop patch, and for a coach, you try and hopefully get things sorted, and you don't have to follow your sword. But sometimes you have to sort of give up and say, look, listen, guys, I'll give you my best shot. Let's move on. Now, Falabi, we had Son scoring a hat trick. We haven't had anybody. This is like an absolute record. You mentioned it earlier on, whereby we've gone made changes in the second half and then come over with a hat trick. I mean, that's very, very rare. What do you think?
It's not rare. Chuma said it earlier. It's the first time it's ever happened. A substitute coming on and scoring a hat trick.
And that for me was just really, really special. Really, really special. And those goals were just out of this world. I mean, I saw those goals. I thought to myself, wow, wow. Ben, did you see any of the goals?
Yeah, I saw all 3 of them. I was 5 minutes late to the match anyway, but I saw all 3. Yeah. Like everybody, I thought that it was absolutely brilliant the way he took his goals. It was back to the old Son. You know, it was because what I noticed in the previous matches, I think he had his hangover. First of all, he was top scorer last season, and it happens to the best of us. He was top scorer last season, and he was overthinking his hand in the ball. The ball wasn't sticking to him. They were playing with a different player. I mean, some people say, oh, that when he plays with Perisic takes up his space. I don't know whether that's true or not, because if you're a good player, you can still make adjustments. But that's what some people are saying. So all that goes into the mix. But I think what it was the fact that, one, we have Haaland, who's freaking running away with it. He scored 14, for Christ's sakes. So it's obvious he's going to score 50 at the end of the season.
11.
11, sorry, yeah.
He scored 11
Yeah, in the
goals.
Premiership, 11. Yeah, 11 in the Premiership. But the thing is that he's going to score 50 before the season is out, that's for sure. So he's got a golden boot. But I think now Son has now, somebody said it, they said he scored his first one, the tap's going to open, and that's what happened. The tap is open, and he could have scored 4, for Christ's sakes. He could have scored 4 or 5. But he will argue that if he started the match, he would have scored 6. But I think it was absolutely wonderful the way he controlled himself. He wasn't doing too much thinking. He was just doing what Son does. We all remember that. I don't think we're ever going to forget Son versus Burnley. That was Son versus Burnley when he ran all the way from the freaking back line, dribbled through everybody. They made a game out of it, didn't they? They made the game where he was collecting rings as he was going along. That was a fantastic showpiece by Son. So I think Son.
Yeah, I think
there's a car coming to the studio.
From Tolu's car, but yeah, welcome back.
Yes, I'm back. I'm back now.
Yeah, I mean, I know you had a bit of difficulty joining back on, but hey, thank God we're back. Chuma, now, from a tactical perspective, I don't want to call you the tactical guru, if you like, but I mean, from a tactical perspective, what would you have done different and why?
Sorry, can you say that again? I missed that. I can't hear the background noise.
No, I said from a tactical perspective, right? What would you have done different and why?
Well, it seems that this, like, whenever we play teams that play 4-3-3, they have 3 midfielders of numbering Højbjerg and Bentancur. It's very difficult for us to pass through them, even to get the ball to wide players. So this 3-5-2 that Conte instituted today in the second half, I think that may be the way forward when we play 4-3-3 playing teams, is to play 5 midfielders. You know, so I'm looking at this as even against Leicester and Arsenal as well, that have 3 midfield players. I think having 5 in that line in the middle, 2 wing backs and 3 central midfield, I think it will work against.
Oops.
Yeah, I mean,
We lost it.
What Chuma is gone. What Chuma is trying to say was Conte reverting back to his Inter formation when he was in Italy. And oppositions have been overpowering us. That's why we've been having major issues in midfield. Overpowering us in midfield. That's why we've not been able to settle. And everybody's been saying that, yeah, we've been playing poorly, but we've been grinding out results. And I always saying this. 1, you only play as well as the opposition allows you to play.
Yep.
And 2, our mentality has changed completely. 2 seasons ago, playing poorly, we won't be grinding out these results. The mentality has changed, that we're not playing as well as we want to be playing, as fluid as we know we can be playing, and as fluid as we were playing towards the end of last season. But we are still grinding. And that's what we can continue to do until we start playing fluidly. That's the other thing. Sorry, Chuma, we lost you for a while. Then I just said that what you were saying.
No.
Conte
Yeah.
reverting.
No, I just enjoyed seeing 3 midfielders.
yeah, I mean, today was an absolute.
I enjoyed it.
fiesta
I enjoyed
for us
seeing 3.
from
Yeah, just got back
I
control
agree.
in
I agree
midfield.
with
Once he
that
controlled
also.
midfield, it was easy.
We were overrun in the midfield.
But I've got to ask. I mean, everybody is celebrating, and we're all excited that Sonny took the ball home. His second hat trick in EPL. That's only his second hat trick, by the way. He's got many doubles, but that's only his second hat trick. I was not very. The team sheet, the starting team sheet. To be truthful with you, I had a few reservations about it. In that, Sonny and Kane are our most lethal players. Now, before I just want to ask everybody, just ask you this question.
Right. So
Before this game,
okay.
who would you consider as a more impact player coming on as a sub? Richarlison or Sonny?
Okay.
Before this game, before this hat trick.
For me, I mean, I think Son came out today and made an absolute statement and said, "Look, I'm undroppable." You know, because I'm undroppable, it means that look, you don't even want to think about it. Chuma, what did you think? Chuma, can you hear me? Chuma, are you there?
Yeah.
He's frozen. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes, he is.
Yeah, he's there.
Yeah, I was saying that. Look, I mean, Son came out.
I know. I'm still here. I can hear you guys.
Yeah, I was saying that Son came out and made a statement today that look, I mean, I'm undroppable. Look, eat your heart out. What did you think?
Surprise, you get dropped.
Yeah, he had a chip on his shoulder. He had a chip. Yeah. This is what superstars do. You drop a superstar, the superstar comes on and he kills everything.
I lost you guys for a few seconds there. I don't know how much of what you said you heard, but I think Chuma seems to have disappeared. But Folabi, I was saying earlier on about how Son came out today to make a really, really strong statement about look, I'm super good. Fantastic. You don't even want to sort of mess with me. And he sort of had that celebration. You know, he didn't sort of go around, jumping up and down and just, he just sort of had, and all his teammates came to him. I mean, how do you register your interest in the golden boot? Right? For me, that's like him saying, look, you guys have gone ahead. I'm back. What do you think, Folabi?
For me, look, listen. His attitude, the way he plays the game. One, you just got to love Sonny. Two, you've just got to love Sonny. Two, there's no manager in the world that I don't believe that if Sonny was up for sale, they will not come and bid for him and try to get him. There's no manager. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I believe there is no manager that will not want him. I said it earlier that Sonny came on. Even he didn't celebrate the way he normally celebrates. His celebrations today of all 3 goals were very muted. They're saying, "Look, listen, you don't rotate Kane, you don't rotate me. Don't rotate me again after today."
Abby?
That was his statement. And you know what I love the most? Even before, when he came on, he almost got a standing ovation from the crowd, from the stadium. He almost got. The only thing they could have done next was give him a standing. The applause that he got, the love that he got in that club, and even not only with the supporters but with the players. You could even see the hugs he was being given at the end of the game by the backroom staff, the training coaches. Because he doesn't go around sulking. He does not go around giving unnecessary interviews. He does not leak anything out. He just does his job and he just plays the game that he loves. Wow. as he said, and he himself said, he's been a bit frustrated. He's been a bit unlucky. But today was a statement. And he gave Don Conte the statement that Don Conte was asking for. So now he's got the statement. So deal with it, Don Conte.
I think we have a mute button, don't we? We all have mute buttons. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Can you hear me, Soji? No, he's talking. We can't hear him. Can't hear you.
Hello? Can anybody hear me?
What?
Someone's
Hello?
talking without being honest. Is that Chuma?
No, this is Tom. I don't know whether you can hear me.
Hello.
Okay, now we
Hello?
can hear you. We can hear you, Soji.
So you can hear me. Fantastic. I was saying
I
that
think
this match was like an eye opener on many levels. Okay, we had obviously Son getting back on track. We had Bissouma came on. I thought he did quite well. You know, in the little shots cameo he had. You know, plenty of forward passes. He was like positive, and we sort of essentially tried to sort of banish the goals of the first half against West Ham. You know, and I love the fact that Don Conte changed the formation, and all of a sudden, from not being in control, we had absolute 100% control. I mean, and all of a sudden, it was like Leicester had no clue about how to deal with us. You know, such a pleasing performance. Toru, what did you think? You back?
Well, it was, but I think Son should have been dropped. I think Son should have been dropped, and he was rightly dropped. Not because he's not a good player, but because this is what Conte wanted him to do. Hey, he was getting a bit anxious at some point in time, trying to prove himself that he's still a goal scorer. But he needed that shock. And exactly what I expected is exactly what he delivered today.
He's given a massive reaction, hasn't it? I mean, this is like what they call positive reaction.
Yeah, that's classic. I thought it was perfect dropping him. Dropping him for 50 minutes, or how long was it? For 60? I think it was perfect.
Yeah, to change his mind.
And we just
changed his mind.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, he changed his whole. He was, rather than feeling anxious, now he felt angry. And that's what he wanted, like the Hulk.
Exactly.
So now he felt angry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He got angry. You could see him on the bench when the cameras went to him.
Yeah.
It was like, it was a different person. He looked angry. And you don't see that.
Like, really? You dropped me? Really?
He looked like an animal ready to unleash. And that's exactly what he did. When we were on the forum today, someone said he would score, and I was like, definitely Son is going to score today. And that's exactly what he did.
And the goals he scored,
it was
absolute
worthies,
Stuff that makes you
fantastic. Left foot, right foot. Yeah.
Well, we're used to it with Son. We're used to it. So he's back to where he was. We're used to that. That's what Son was delivering for us every day. So no, he went back to roots. Replaced his anger, became Hulk Son. It was good.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. I mean, this is Common Use Spurs TV. Thank you for joining us tonight. We've been looking at Tottenham against Leicester, and the narrative before the match was: is this actually for Brendan or for Spurs doing the usual treating patients who aren't doing so well? And thankfully, it's looking more like an Uber for Mr. Brendan. Talking of taxi for
definitely.
What do you think, guys? There's this narrative that we had this difficult spell, obviously, at 1 point in the league, this 7th match, and they just haven't had any opportunity. Well, they had opportunity, but they've not really performed to the best of their ability. is this time for Brendan to go, or is just what's going on? What do you think, Falabi?
No. I think one, Leicester have lost a few players. They've lost quite a few players, some of their best players. Two, they've had some tough games. They've had some very, very tough games. It's international week,
Okay.
and then their next game is against Forest. You know, and a win against Forest can change everything.
What do you think, Ben? What do you think? Do you think taxi for Brendan, or he should be given another opportunity to sort of think? I mean, sit down out of this.
Personally, I think they're being generous. They're waiting for him to get up to Leicester first before they fire him. So watch out for the news tonight. I think as soon as he rocks up and comes into the office, they're sacking, and we hear it in the news tonight or maybe tomorrow morning. Enough is enough. He wants to get sacked. He looks like a guy that wants to get sacked.
Oh, I disagree.
You think so?
No, Brendan doesn't.
I think he's tired. It looks like someone that is beat.
He does.
I think
Because look at it. If he gets fired, he gets money anyway. He gets money. All these guys get money when they get fired. So he probably wants to start a farm or something.
He was not backed in the transfer window. I think that's where his frustration is coming from. That he was not backed in the transfer window, and they allowed certain players to go that he wanted to keep.
He wants Brighton. I bet you he wants Brighton.
The difficulty for us is that we have a league where it's very unforgiving. A lot of owners don't have the patience to see how things pan out, and they quickly want to pull the trigger to ensure that they don't get into a position whereby it becomes untenable from a survival perspective. Now, because of that, they have to be seen to be not just doing something about tough decisions, but actually making the right decisions from a long-term perspective. You know? Now, I mean, as an owner, you probably think, okay, do I stick with him or do I just cut my losses and move on? That's a challenge, you know. Well, I actually think that his days are numbered, you know, given the way how vicious how things are with the league, and if he's of course unless he finds some really big favor with the employers, I think it probably will be curtains for him very, very soon. But watch this space. Like I said, thank you guys for joining us on Common Sports TV. Absolutely fantastic. Spurs 6, rather. And we had so many things to celebrate tonight. Harry Kane on the score sheet again is probably the highest scorer from Tottenham's perspective against Leicester. We had Dyer celebrating his recall to the England squad with the goal. Absolutely fantastic cross from Perisic, and also we had amazing set pieces that sort of set the tone for how we're going to go forward. I mean, we're scoring goals from set pieces. And I had my own feed where I had the commentaries. I had the guys focusing on the guy who the first team coach, sorry, the coach who deals with set pieces. And it was like, yes, my boys are doing the right thing. And someone said the amount of combinations they had, even if a couple of those come off, I mean, we're always in good nick. So all of the time today, we were very, very effective and very threatening in set pieces. So kudos to the team, and we're very, very well done. Now, finally, I mean, I guess for the headline for most people tomorrow, tonight is, is Heung-min Son, a hat trick hero coming on. I mean, I think 59 minutes or so, and they're coming up with 6 goals in a 13-minute spell, and you could have had more, you know, and that was an amazing thing. So it was devastating. Devastating is a word, you know. So well done, Heung-min Son. Come on, you Spurs! Thank you so much for joining us. We will be back. I think the next episode will be a match against Arsenal, and that we're away to Arsenal on the 1st of October. I'm very, very much looking forward to that. We've got an international break in between. And yeah, and if you have any comments, please leave them in the comment section below. Share this with your friends, relations, work colleagues, you know, acquaintances, whatever, you know. Let's make this channel go viral. Thank you so much for joining us. Common Ye Spurs. Thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure having you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, pleasure's all ours, mate. Thanks very much, Soji.
Yeah.